Hey folks, everybody, we're out here at Blue Hills Country Club. Todd Leabo here with some faces you'll recognize, some voices you'll recognize as well. Tom Watson and David Feherty at the For the Kids golf tournament for raising money to help prevent teen suicide, which is a monstrous problem here in America. First of all, guys, thanks for being out here for this tournament.
Always a pleasure to be here, trying to help these kids out.
David, I know you come to town for this every year. This is certainly something that's near and dear to your heart to try to help out.
Yes, it is, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so the time we're in right now with COVID and even more isolation for kids, this has really turned into an even bigger thing, I think, than it's been in the past, isn't it?
Without a question, with all indications, it's gotten worse, and you can understand with kids being really being closed in and on their phones all the time, and that's where we have a problem. We've got it with the phones and kids getting back and forth and being mean to each other, and all of a sudden something snaps and they need help, and this is what we're here to do today. We're here to provide help through the schools and through Children's Mercy Hospital, the type of mental health executives, if you will, the people who come in and they talk with the kids, they gain their confidence, and they get the kids back on the right track. That's what we're trying to do.
And talking about these things is important, right, David? I mean, you've been very open about battling depression, and you can get yourself kind of down in that hole, and talking about it's an important thing, and that's something that maybe kids aren't doing enough of, and that's one of the goals today.
Yeah, I mean, it's about communication, awareness, and education. I'm not sure if people in this country are aware of how serious the problem is. We know it's a problem in the military with 20 a day taking their own lives. Tom and I are involved in Troops First Foundation, where we have an operation called Operation Warrior Call, and it's just connectivity. That's all it is. It gives soldiers coming out of the military a connection with their former battle buddies. They're still cared about, they still feel part of the team, and we need to do something similar, for our teens, and give them hope, because you can live without pretty much anything except hope, and that's what we hope to give them.
And here in Kansas City, this has obviously been something. Kevin Timmons, our good friend, and from Nick and Jake's, and he was touched by it with his son, and you guys have both talked about depression and this community, Tom. You know what it's like out here. You've raised so much money for Children's Mercy, and that has kind of been carried on here with what Timmons is doing with the behavioral health and things like that. This is a giving community who loves to help out.
Well, Children's Mercy, it was all in when you approached them about helping these kids with their suicide prevention. They have their psychiatrists on board. We've hired counselors to go into the schools and be there for the kids. The wonderful thing about it, though, that we're finding is like when Mothers Against Drunk Driving came out, and they put the onus on the kids to say, all right, designated drivers. The kids start thinking about, all right, if I have to party, I've got to. We have to be responsible to that. The kids who are having issues with their depression, their friends know, and have those friends come to those kids and say, hey, there's a way out of this thing. There's these counselors that, come on, you got to trust these counselors to help you out of this thing. We're finding that the awareness of the kids interacting with each other is really starting to move the needle on this suicide prevention.
It's not just educating people about signs in themselves, it's educating everyone to look for signs in their friends, because nobody wants a life to end in suicide, right, David?
No, that's for sure. Anybody who's lost a child will tell you there's no pain like it. But we can only spend a certain amount of time around the country in places, to try to raise funds for this kind of thing. And coming here to Kansas City, this is a special place. Children's Mercy have shown tremendous initiative, and we feel that the money we raise here today will go to a really good cause.
Okay, we're out here at the For the Kids golf tournament. Let's talk a little golf. Not what's going to happen here today, but the golf season's been uprooted because of COVID. We're looking at the Masters happening in November. How do you think golf has handled the game and trying to find a way to play through?
Well, it's unique in the guys aren't playing and the gals aren't playing in front of galleries. Just like the Chiefs and the Royals, they're not playing in front of fans. But The great thing about this COVID, if there is a great thing about it, is that with all the kids out of school and not being able to play in their team events because of COVID, they've gone to the golf course. And we've found just a huge increase in the number of young people on the golf course, which we hope to corral some of those kids for being lifetime golfers. So there is a positive to this COVID outbreak.
Do you think the players that you've talked to, been around, and the caddies and all that stuff have kind of taken to it and understood the importance of trying to play while do it safely, David?
I think so. Golf is a special sport, in that you can go out there and a lot, especially club golfers, go out there and when they're playing golf, they pretty much hate the world and everybody in it. So the social distancing thing isn't a problem. Get away from me.
Yeah, it's one of those things you can get away. It's always fun to play. There'll be a lot of fun out here today with the groups. Everyone will have a good time and they'll raise some money. But there's some solitude out there. It's good to just go play and work on your game, right? Whether you're just pounding balls on the range or out there playing by yourself.
Well, I won't be heckling or anything like that. I don't play. I just ride around and appreciate what everybody does.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much for coming out here. Any final message, Tom, for the folks at Kansas City in this particular charity and what you guys are doing today?
Well, actually, we thank you for supporting us. We have a huge outpouring of support. 2 different golf courses a day. We hope to raise over $1 million for this project and for the kids of Kansas City, and we thank you.
That's Tom Watson, 8-time major champion, and David Feherty. No majors, but some minors. One of the most recognizable names and faces in golf out here at Blue Hills Country Club in Kansas City at the For the Kids golf tournament to help raise money to prevent teenage and suicide around Kansas City.